First up, I don't often talk about foreign events, but everything that happened in Manchester this week has been all over the news and certainly affects things going on in the US, especially when it's because the US is leaking information that they probably shouldn't. As a recap, 22 people were killed and dozens injured in a terrorist attack late on Monday at the end of an Ariana Grande concert. According to reports, a single explosion went off in the box office area of the arena as the concert ended and people started leaving. Early reports stated that only 59 people were injured, but as of Thursday, NHS England reported 75 were still being treated in area hospitals, with at least 23 in continued critical condition. As of writing this video, Thursday afternoon, police still haven't been able to identify all the victims, but one of them, the youngest, was an 8-year-old girl. And unfortunately, most of the other victims were also teenagers and small children. ISIS has claimed responsibility for the attack, but also released details that aren't accurate to the actual situation, so their connection is still kind of up in the air. In a valiant show of support, Trump offered his condolences to the UK by calling those behind the attack, quote, evil losers. Very poignant. The suicide bomber has been identified, though UK police think someone else might have actually constructed the bomb due to how complex it was, and think that this person is still at large. The bomber was from Manchester, but had family in Libya, who Libyan officials claim knew about the attack and have been arrested. Supposedly, a Muslim community worker had also warned police about the bomber twice in the past, but was ignored, and Greater Manchester Police are refusing to comment on this claim. And this is where the leaky US administration comes in and things start to get really tense. Somehow, during all the aftermath, the US was actually the first to name the killer, and the New York Times somehow got a hold of some forensic photos from the scene, including pictures of shrapnel, the backpack the bomb is thought to have been kept in, and the detonator. UK officials are furious, saying that it is directly impeding their investigation, and claim the information could only have been leaked by US officials. It doesn't help that after the blame game went public, an NBC reporter made it even worse by tweeting that a US intelligence official told him that the bomber's own family had tried to warn security officials about him. And of course, this was after the UK had already told the US to shut up several times, and now they've stopped communicating about the investigation completely. Well, that was the case for at least a couple hours. Communication lines are apparently back up and running after fresh assurances. Meanwhile, Britain's terrorist threat level has been raised to critical, and for the first time ever, armed officers will be patrolling public transportation throughout the entire country. What I will say, though, is some really nice stuff is coming out of this. For example, 2 homeless men in the area came rushing in to help the victims, and several crowdfunding sites have actually been set up to help the men find permanent homes. On a lighter note, we've actually got some weird restaurant news this week, because apparently that's a thing. Immigration and Customs officials apparently ordered some flapjacks at an Ann Arbor restaurant this week, and then arrested the cooks that made their breakfast. After they finished their meal, of course. Because there's no better tip than a pair of handcuffs. According to the owner of Sava's restaurant, the immigration agent showed up, had breakfast, and then went into the kitchen looking for one guy, couldn't find him, and then decided to question everyone else and arrest 3 of them instead, because I guess immigration arrests are like Pringles and you just can't have one. Turns out that the arrested men did have the proper papers, they just didn't have the papers on them, which I guess is a criminal offense, so the restaurant is working to get all the papers into the Detroit ICE so they can cook other people breakfast without getting arrested. We also have a Portland, Oregon newspaper gloating that they have battled against cultural appropriation and won another battle in the war against white supremacy by shutting down a food truck. You get 'em, Tiger. The Portland Mercury accused the 2 owners of Cook's Burritos, Cooks, whatever, of preying on poor, innocent Mexican women on a recent trip and stealing their cultural secrets. The paper goes so far as to suggest that the Mexican women didn't want to share how to make tortillas, and so, quote, these 2 white women decided they would just take what the locals clearly didn't want to give them and pack up all their stolen intellectual property and repackage it into a food truck because apparently burritos are intellectual property now. The paper even accuses the business of stealing Mexican women's livelihood, even though I'm pretty sure that being hundreds of miles away or thousands, I don't know, I didn't Google it, but I'm pretty sure they're not competing for Mexican business. The Mercury claims the food truck in a racially insensitive review in the Willamette Week caused outrage among people of color because opening a food truck means that you claim to be the supreme being that first created tacos and burritos. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure no one ever thought these two white chicks invented burritos. And in the typical sequence of events on the internet, Mike.com fanned the flames of internet rage with an article titled, "These White Cooks Bragged About Stealing Recipes from Mexico to Start a Portland Business." And now the truck is gone. Am I the only one that this whole time thought Portland was just full of hipsters? I mean, I have to be wrong. You never see hipsters protesting Taco Bell. Anyway, this whole controversy that never should have even been a controversy, considering all the actual controversial and terrible things happening in the world, inspired a white-owned appropriative restaurants list. The list of about 60 Portland area restaurants is in a fancy little Google Doc spreadsheet accusing the restaurants of spreading food white supremacy. That's a phrase I never thought I'd hear. The list encourages anyone who has come to it out of anger to read the articles in the resource section before continuing on to the list. It lists some website called Bitch Media as the first resource, which I have to say is not very encouraging. I also want to give an update today on what's going on in Trump-Russia Comey land. I really wanted to come up with some witty fake soap opera name for it, but really I got nothing. The Washington Post rolled out some new accusations this week that a key document that influenced Comey's decisions in the Hillary Clinton email scandal is dubious at best and probably fake. The story goes that during the 2016 primaries, the FBI received a Russian intelligence document that claimed there was a secret understanding between the Clinton campaign and the Justice Department over the whole did she or didn't she intentionally reveal classified information on her private email server thing. The Russian document cited an alleged email from then DNC chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who cited an email from Attorney General Loretta Lynch of secret Clinton meeting fame, who in this email promised someone the investigation would just sort of go away. Officials say that this document influenced Comey to announce the end of the investigation without the Justice Department because he basically didn't want things to look suspicious in the event that the document leaked, even though in August the FBI decided the document was probably fake. And the FBI decided this because everyone in the supposed email chain claims not to know each other or to have ever even talked. Well, everyone except for Lynch. She's decided not to comment. And actually so has Comey and the FBI spokesman. But they also claim that no one ever investigated them on the matter, and no one actually really investigated the document, so I'm not really sure how that works. And that is where I'm going to end it today, so you have something to go ponder. As always, if you liked today's video, go ahead and hit the like button or throw me some upvotes on VidMe. If you're new and you like what you see, subscribe, say hello, and share it with your friends, your family, your taco truck, whatever. And you can find me over on Facebook and on Twitter, and if you really like my videos, you can also help support me on Patreon. So until next week, thanks for watching and helping me to spread the message of liberty.